Carole Elaine Anderson. She's a daughter, sister, mother, and friend. A loving spirit who never, ever met a stranger. An ever-dependable aunt. And a doting grandma. Carole lived a beautiful life. Born in Omaha, Nebraska, where she spent her formative years, Carole lived her adult life in the picturesque San Francisco Bay Area, where she loved and raised 3 kids, Kent, Janelle, and Edward.
When we lived in what they call the Pink Palace, we'd walk up to a store in that called Foodland, and cars would be driving by and guys would be honking a horn and hooping and hollering at her. And, you know, as a child, you don't understand, but I knew it was a good thing, you know. She had that kind of beauty from within, and there was nobody like her. Her warmth she had warmth that was just, you wouldn't know, you know, unless you really knew her. She was, she taught you so much. Everybody that knew her knew, they just knew right away that she was someone special, you know, and unique. I've heard every word you spoke to me, Mom, and I know there's a place in heaven for you. I know Kent was there to meet you and greet you at the door. It must have been God's plan, and that's why he took Kent first, to have someone there to comfort her and meet her.
You've heard of boys that have been called mama's boys. Well, I was a mama's girl because I didn't like to do the boy things. I like to do more girly things. So we did girly things together. Actually, we did everything together. And I think that's why most people know it's going to be difficult for me to get through this. But I must say, even in my mom's last days in the hospital, even the nurses and the doctors raved about how beautiful she was and how beautiful she looked at 73. And they've always raved about my mom's beauty. They raved about me too. And we would just laugh and say, we're old. And it's nice to hear it at 51 and 73 years old. But she's always looked younger than her age. But most of all, I just want to say that my mom's beauty was really her beauty that was within inside. And her beauty from inside always shined through the outside. And that's what always made my mother so beautiful. My mom was great. She was wonderful. She was awesome. She deserves the highest praise there is.
There's so many memorable moments that I've had with my grandmother, but I mean, just a simple little time, just going to the nail shop, making her run around with me and going shopping. I'm gonna miss you, Grandma. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do this without you. You pretty much leaded most of the path in my life. You raised me the majority of my life. I love you dearly, and I hope to see you soon. To always reach out, and even though no matter how far away they may be, just let them know that you are thinking about them. They're in your hearts, in prayers. And just let them know that you love them. I love you so much, Grandma.
They used to come back every summer and visit us in Omaha. And what I remember about Aunt Carole was I used to think she was my mother a lot. Because they look a lot alike. There's a story that I'm not sure about that we did think she was our mom at one time, but I guess that's what I remember most, them visiting Omaha, and then a couple times we came out here to visit them.
As a kid, I remember running up, and it's funny, you remember certain things as a kid. You don't know how old you were. But I used to run up to her and grab her leg. And she would come down, she would grab down and hug me, and I said, "Oh, you're not Mom." And she said, "That's all right, I love you. I love you anyway." And that's indicative of the way Carole was as we grew older. She just always had a lot of love and a lot of caring. And just a very, very, very special person. And I'm being biased, that's my aunt. But that's what Carole was. She always would reach down there and she would grab and say, "Hey, I love you." And I said, "Okay, well, I was looking for Mom." So, yeah. So that's what I remember most as a kid.
One thing I do remember is I was going through a tough time, and she wrote me a letter, a handwritten note, and just got me through, and I'll never forget her for it. I've called her and told her about it, but that letter, I knew she's just a caring person.
It's the little things.
Absolutely.
She was probably the most kind, caring person that I've met. And she's met many of my friends through the years, through marriages, divorces, and they have always expressed that they love Aunt Carole because she never judged them. She was a real, and that's the word that they always used to describe Aunt Carole, was real.
The spirit of my sister will always live within me. She's with me daily. That's why I miss her so much.
I'm lost without you.
We had each other. We always had each other. That's basically says it all. What stands out in my mind are the nights that we had together after we were grown and had our children and had our husbands and our families, but we would stay up all night talking and laughing and just comparing our gifts.
We actually argued about it. I told my mom, "Mom, I dedicate this song to you." She said, "No, I dedicate that song to you." And I'm saying, "Mom, this song is for you."
It must have been